They didn't announce it with urgency. There was no press conference, no dramatic warning, just a quiet update buried in orbital data, the kind most people would never read. An object moving faster than expected, from a direction that didn't make sense, on a path that history says shouldn't exist. By the time most of the world noticed the name 3I Atlas, the journey was already almost over. What makes this object unsettling isn't how bright it is or how large it might be. It's how long it has been traveling, and the fact that by every reasonable model, it should not have survived the trip. Interstellar space is not empty. It is violent, cold, and relentlessly destructive. Radiation strips surfaces atom by atom. Micrometeoroids erode anything exposed for too long. Even solid rock doesn't stay solid forever out there. Yet, 3I Atlas appears intact, coherent, purposefully shaped by time, not destroyed by it. Which raises the first uncomfortable question no one seems eager to say out loud. Is this object a survivor of an impossible journey, or something that arrived here more recently than we're being told? Because survival implies endurance over millions of years. Arrival implies timing. And timing is where the story starts to fracture. When astronomers reconstructed its trajectory, they noticed something odd. Not a single dramatic anomaly, but a series of small ones. Subtle deviations, adjustments that look innocent in isolation, but strange when viewed together. 3I Atlas didn't just wander into our solar system. Its path threaded through gravitational boundaries with almost uncomfortable efficiency. It lost speed when it should have gained it. It gained speed where models predicted drag. Nothing that breaks physics, nothing that triggers an alarm. Just enough irregularity to make experts pause and then move on. Because pauses don't make headlines, certainty does. Official explanations leaned on familiar language, natural object, interstellar origin, rare but not unprecedented. And yet, if it's so straightforward, why did the updates slow down? Why did the detailed orbital refinements stop appearing as frequently? Why did the discussion shift from trajectory to chemistry, from motion to composition? It's as if attention was gently redirected. Not silenced, not censored, just softened. As 3I Atlas passed through regions where solar radiation should have triggered clear outgassing, the signals were faint, too faint. Comets advertise themselves, they shed material, they react. This one was restrained. That doesn't mean artificial, it doesn't mean intentional, but it does mean atypical. And in science, atypical is where the most important stories usually begin, or quietly end. Because here's what doesn't sit comfortably. If 3I Atlas truly traveled for millions of years through interstellar space, its surface should look ancient beyond recognition. Chemically scarred, structurally exhausted. Instead, what we observe suggests something closer to preservation than erosion, as if its exposure time doesn't match the distance it supposedly crossed. Distance without damage is not impossible, but it is rare enough that it deserves more than a footnote. There is another detail that almost slipped by unnoticed, the timing of its discovery. Not when it entered the solar system, but when we first detected it. Modern surveys scan the sky constantly, automated, relentless. Yet 3I Atlas was spotted later than models suggest it should have been. Late detection means one of two things. Either it was smaller, darker, or quieter than expected, or it wasn't on that path for very long. Both options lead to the same uneasy space, a gap between assumption and observation. And gaps are dangerous, because that's where imagination rushes in. But stay grounded. No claims, no conclusions, just questions. Why does this object's motion appear so disciplined? Why does it seem to conserve structure where chaos is the rule? Why do official briefings emphasize what it is, but avoid discussing how unlikely its condition actually is? There is a difference between we don't know and we're done asking. And somewhere along the line, the questions stopped evolving. As 3I Atlas continued its passage, attention drifted, news cycles moved on. The object became a line item, a resolved curiosity. But unresolved things don't disappear just because we stop looking at them. Because the deeper implication isn't about origin, it's about expectation. If this object survived an interstellar crossing intact, then our understanding of space as a filter, a brutal eliminator of structure, is incomplete. And if it didn't survive that journey, then we have to ask when it began. Which brings us to the thought no one likes because it has no clean edges. What if 3I Atlas didn't arrive as a relic of deep time, but as something released from a nearer past? Not guided, not sent, just introduced into motion later than assumed. There are natural ways that could happen: fragmentation, ejection, gravitational exchange between stars. All valid, all possible. But none of them are discussed with the same confidence as the conclusion itself. And confidence without transparency is not reassurance, it's posture. The real mystery of 3I Atlas is not whether it is alien or artificial. That question is easy to dismiss. The harder question is why its story feels prematurely finished. Because science usually lingers, it debates, it revisits. This one moved on quickly. As the object faded from optimal observation range, the last datasets came in. Clean, minimal, unprovocative. No final anomaly, no definitive contradiction, just enough ambiguity to ensure one thing. We will know no more unless something like it appears again. And next time, the context will be different. Because once you accept that an object can cross interstellar space with this level of coherence, or arrive with this level of timing, you have to update your expectations. Not about aliens, about thresholds. About how much we really understand what passes through our neighborhood unnoticed. 3I Atlas may be gone from our immediate view, but the question it leaves behind is still moving. If this was survival, then space is more forgiving than we thought. If this was arrival, then our detection assumptions are dangerously optimistic. Either way, something doesn't fully add up, and the next object won't announce itself any louder than this one did. Which means the most important discovery might not be what we see, but what we almost miss. Because the line between survival and arrival isn't written in light, it's written in timing. And timing is the one variable we keep trusting the most, right up until it proves us wrong.